morning, students. In the last session, we have completed Kingdom Monera. In this class, I'm going to teach you about Kingdom Protista. So it's also one of the interesting kingdom. So what is meant by Kingdom Protista? In this kingdom, almost all the organisms, they will have single cell. They are single-celled organisms, and also they are eukaryotes. Eukaryote means the nucleus with nuclear membrane or well-defined nucleus. That is known as eukaryotes. Then most of them, they are aquatic. Aquatic means they live in water, maybe fresh water or marine water or sea water, though they are aquatic. Then this kingdom forms a link with others, dealing with plants, animals, and fungi. The next point I told already, the eukaryotes, being eukaryotes, the protestant cell body contains a well-defined nucleus and other membrane-bound organelles. Then what about their reproduction? Reproduction, there are two types. One is sexual and asexual. So this group, they show both type of reproduction. Sexual reproduction means male and female gametes, it will fuse and zygote will form. Without the involvement of male and female gametes, that is known as asexual reproduction. Clear? So they are single-celled organisms. Most of them are eukaryotes. They are aquatic. You should know what is the meaning of each scientific term. So they are aquatic. And eukaryote means, I told you, that is with a nucleus with a well-defined nuclear membrane and also membrane-bound organelles. Then the reproduction, there are two types, sexual and asexual reproduction. Clear? The next one is, if you have taken this kingdom Protista, there are 5 groups comes under this Protista group: chrysophytes, dinoflagellates, protozoans, slime molds, euglenoids. So which are the 5 groups comes under Protista? Chrysophytes, dinoflagellate, di means 2 flagella, dinoflagellates, protozoans, slime molds, euglenoids. Clear? So let us see each one. We have to learn one by one. First one is chrysophytes. In this group, we can see diatoms and golden algae. So diatoms and golden algae, desmids. It's a golden algae. It comes under this chrysophytes group. Where they live in fresh water as well as in marine environment. Marine means ocean or sea water. In both the places we can see in the fresh water as well as in marine or sea water. Then they are very microscopic. They are very, very small and they can float passively in water currents. Okay. Commonly they will call phytoplanktons. So they are very small. They can float along with the water currents. So these are known as phytoplanktons. Most of them are photosynthetic in nature. What is meant by photosynthetic? They can make their own food with the help of sunlight. They are photosynthetic in nature. They can prepare their own food with the help of sunlight. That is photosynthetic. Then if you are talking about this group diatoms, I told this group mainly to consist of, they are known as phytoplanktons. They are the chief producers in the ocean. So in the oceans, we can see very many plants are growing, many small plants like microscopic plants are growing. So these are the chief producers in the oceans. Then another specialty of this group, the diatoms, they have cell wall. The plant has cell wall, same like the diatoms, they have cell wall, but the cell wall is made up of silica. It is not a cellulose, it is made up of silica. And also the cell wall, it consists of 2 overlapping halves that fit together as in a soap case. So in the soap case, you know how we say it, 2 halves, same like the cell wall, it consists of 2 overlapping halves and they fit together as in a soap case. The next specialty of this group, the cell wall is indestructible, cannot destroy. But the reason is it's made up of silica and they form diatomaceous earth at the bottom floor. I'll tell you what is meant by diatomaceous earth. What they form diatomaceous earth at the bottom of ocean, okay, or ocean floor. This diatomaceous earth is useful in many industries. So I'll tell you what is meant by this diatomaceous earth. The siliceous indestructible cell wall pile up at the bottom of water reservoirs and form big heaps called diatomaceous earth. So what it is, I told their cell wall is made up of silica. Silica is very strong, cannot destroy. That is called indestructible. So the siliceous indestructible cell wall, they pile up. And where they pile up at the bottom of the water, bottom of the oceans, and what they form big heaps. They are called diatomaceous earth. It may extend 400 meters. So sometime it will extend, it may extend for 100 meters and used for polishing and also filtration of oil and syrups. They are chief producers in oceans. So what are the uses of this diatomaceous earth? It is used for polishing and also filtration of oil and syrups, and also some medicinal use for the treatment of high cholesterol level, and also sometimes for the treatment of constipation. Even the silica we can make into powder. The powder we can use to brush teeth. These are the different uses of the silica or diatomaceous earth. And also for polishing purposes, we are using this diatomaceous earth. Clear? Then again, we have to see the next group. So that is about the chrysophytes. The next one is dinoflagellates. These organisms are mostly marine and photosynthetic. So they are mainly we can see in the ocean or sea. That's called marine and photosynthetic in nature. They can make their own food. They appear yellow, green, brown, blue, or red, depending upon the pigments present in the cells. So, in the plant, the green pigment, chlorophyll, which gives green color, same like carotenoids, which gives yellow, orange, or red color, then xanthophyll. Then there are so many pigments. Each pigment is giving one color. So these dinoflagellates, they appear yellow, green, brown, blue, red, depending upon what type of pigment they have. Based on that, they're getting these colors. The cell wall has stiff cellulose plates on the outer surface. Even the cellulose, the cell wall is made up of cellulose. It's arranged in the form of plates. Okay. So the cell wall has stiff cellulose plates on the outer surface. Most of them have two flagella. So that is the reason dinoflagellates. It means di means two. Most of them have two flagella. Very often, red dinoflagellates, example, Goniolax, undergo such rapid multiplication that they make the sea appear red. That is the reason for the red tides. So sometime what will happen? This red dinoflagellates, example, Goniolax, what they will do? They will multiply. Okay, they undergo rapid multiplication and they make the sea appear red color. You can see in the picture, the waves, it will be red color. So that is called red tides. The toxins released by such large numbers may even kill other marine animals such as fishes. So when they grow more, this dinoflagellate, anyone, maybe red color or brown color, blue color, they also produce some toxins. These toxins are not good. They kill marine animals such as fishes. Clear? And what about this flagella? I told you there are two flagella. One flagella lies in the longitudinal direction while the other lies transversely in the furrow between the cell wall plates. Clear? So dinoflagellate means there are two flagella. One flagella longitudinal direction while the other lies transversely in the furrow between the cell plates. Clear? The next group it is, so that is about the dinoflagellate. The next, euglenoids, third group. Euglenoids, they are freshwater organisms. Mostly we can see in freshwater, especially we can see found in stagnant water. Instead of a cell wall, they have a protein-rich layer, it's called pellicle, which makes their body flexible. Okay, so these organisms, euglenoids, instead of cell wall, they have another layer. It's made up of protein. So the protein-rich layer, the layer, what it is called pellicle, which makes the body very flexible. Though they are photosynthetic in the presence of sunlight, when deprived of sunlight, they behave like heterotrophs by predating on other small organisms. So these euglenoids, they are autotrophs as well as heterotrophs. If there is sunlight, they will make their own food. They will do photosynthesis. So that is called autotrophs. They can make their own food. But in the absence of sunlight, they are acting like heterotrophs. They will eat other small organisms. Clear? Interestingly, the pigments of euglenoids are identical to those present in higher plants. So what are pigments present in this euglenoid? So same like plant, I told you there is a chlorophyll, then carotenoid, then xanthophyll. So many pigments present in higher plants. So same almost all the pigments present in this euglenoid. So example is euglena. Clear. Then here, even this euglenoid, they have two flagella. One flagella is short, other one is long. Okay, euglena also have, you can see in the figure, they have actually two flagella. One is short and the second one long one. Same like another point I told, they are photosynthetic in the presence of sunlight, and in the absence of light they are predators. So they are autotrophs as well as heterotrophs. Example, euglena. Third one is slime molds. Here, this group, they are saprophytic protists. Saprophytic means they get food or nourishment from the decayed or decaying matter. Dead and decaying matter, that is called a saprophytic protist. The body moves along decaying twigs and leaves, engulfing organic matters. Example, Plasmodium. Plasmodium is example, it is a slime mold. Here, one more specialty. What will happen for this group during favorable and unfavorable conditions? Under favorable condition, they form an aggregate called Plasmodium. I told you just now, I told Plasmodium. The conditions are very favorable. They form an aggregate. It's called Plasmodium. If it is unfavorable conditions, the Plasmodium will form fruiting bodies which bear spores. You know what is meant by spores in the last class? I explained what is spores. So during unfavorable conditions, this Plasmodium form fruiting bodies which bear spores, and it is dispersed by wind.